Happy Wednesday, everybody, and welcome into the Grand Lake and Mac Lane podcast, presented by Ingles, the official supermarket of Grand Lake and Mac Lane. Mac and I are in different locations today, as it is Thanksgiving. I am in the land of no Ingles. Sad face. In Texas.
It's because you're in a different country. You're in the country of Texas right now.
It's true. It's very true. And Mac is at his parents', actually his mom's office, where all the pictures of the grandbabies are behind
all
you.
The babies. All the babies.
Mac, you've been cooking all day? Is that what you've been doing?
It's Wednesday, so this is a prep day. So we've got the turkeys. They're getting in the brine, good brine bath. You got to do that for about 24 hours, where they just soak and get all those juices. This is like the awkward waiting period, where you're just hanging out. Now, I will say, my mother, Khaki, the ladies of the house have been grinding. Okay, they've been working their tails off. Of course, we had to go over to Ingles, had to get all our stuff, and been locked and loaded there. Guys, there's still time. It is Wednesday. They still will have some things there. Would have liked if you shopped a little bit earlier, but it's here. Thanksgiving's here, KG. It's one of my favorite holidays. We're going to have a ton of people over at the house. As you guys know, my pops is retiring at the end of the year here, and so a lot of soldiers are coming in. A lot of families coming in. We're expecting upwards of 30 people, and so I cannot wait for that. It's going to be so much fun. But I do want to say this, KG, because this always happens. Mm-hmm. You don't get frustrated. Don't get upset. If something doesn't go right, timing's off, you cook something wrong or something, it's okay. You're all together. It's family time. Enjoy that, people. Don't stress out. You might be driving down the road listening to this right now, freaking out about what you have to do. It's all good. We're all together. We're having a good time. So don't let the stresses of this season creep in right now.
I like that, man. We're blessed, and we have to be thankful. Right. Remember the things that we're thankful for. And I am thankful that avid listener of the pod, my amazing grandmother, got to finally meet my son.
Yes.
The last couple of days, and that's just been really fun. And she truly listens to every episode that we do.
Come on, Grandma, let's go.
The best, and she's been hanging out with her great grandson, so that's been really fun, and I'm excited to get back to the land of Ingles, but of course not there right now, so I am sad. But I am able to stay in touch with these messages from Ingles. So let's get to a message from Ingles, and then we will get to our special guest.
This is so beautiful. I don't know how you do it. We just got this pipe from Ingles.
Well...
All right, move it or lose it, people. Get the cranberry sauce.
We manage.
Happy Thanksgiving from Ingles.
Appreciate our friends over at Ingles. Like I said, if you're doing some last minute shopping, actually it's last second. We're here, people. It's Wednesday. You gotta go. It's last second. Go over to our friends over at Ingles. They're going to take care of you, have everything you need. They stocked up. They're ready for this. They understand it. And maybe even left some stuff in the back until Wednesday, just in case some people needed some stuff. But we've got a guy who doesn't leave anything back. This dude is full speed ahead. It's rivalry week. So, we had to go straight to the Palmetto State to talk about this rivalry. And we had to go straight to Clemson to talk with my guy, Jeremiah Trotter. This was such a fun conversation. KG was 30,000 feet up in the air while we were doing this. So it's just me solo. I was a little bit scared talking to an All-American linebacker. Those are terrifying guys. But I love this conversation. Jeremiah Trotter, one of the absolute best. So here's our interview with him. We'll talk about it more on the other side. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., man, I've been waiting on this interview. Very excited to talk to you today. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great. Appreciate you joining us. Hey, it's Thanksgiving week. It's rivalry week. Obviously, at being played at Clemson, I kind of know how it goes. But what's the plans for Thursday? You going to a teammate's house? You doing anything special for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I'll be spending a little bit of time with my girlfriend's family. Some of her family lives in South Carolina, so go over there, get some good food.
There you go. Easy enough, man. It's always an interesting time. I remember in high school, it was always a good thing when you're practicing on Thanksgiving because that means you're making a good run in the playoffs. And then here in college, it's just another thing. It's just what we do. So let's jump into this season a little bit, man, because, I think that it's a bit of a tale of two seasons, when you look at what you guys have been able to do, what you've been able to accomplish. And you really want to just start at that Notre Dame game because it seems like a lot kind of clicked for the team. And I'd love to hear it from your perspective. Just what was that week like going into that game?
Yeah, that week was, Coach Sweeney really challenged the team, both sides of the ball, really just, give it your all and have a one game season mentality. And, remembering last year how when we went to Notre Dame and how that game ended, we weren't very happy with the results and how we played. So we came with a more, aggressive mentality, trying to bring it to them. And we really just executed the game plan and had, watched it on film. And a lot of guys just showed a lot of effort. It was max effort, and everybody was straining to get a win.
Yeah, and one guy in particular, I'm talking to him right now. I mean, you balled out. That was such a great game. 2 sacks, a pick six. I mean, a monumental, play there. What was that like? I mean, did it feel kind of like a video game? I mean, I talk to offensive guys all the time when they're having big statistical games, but you were all over the place in this game. What'd that feel like?
It just felt good, and it was a great blessing. God gave me the opportunity to be able to make plays for my team and put us in a better position to win. And talking about the pick six, just being in that moment was surreal. Just being able to break on the ball. And I got my hand on the ball. I was just thinking, don't fumble it first thing, and just. But it was just a great blessing. I thank God. He allowed me to prosper in that game and make a lot of plays for my team.
I love that, man. And I love you kind of taking us inside the helmet there, talking about the first thing you're thinking about. Don't fumble. Do not let this ball go, because obviously you don't have it in your hands a ton, man. I want to further dive into that linebacker position because it's the quarterback of the defense, quarterback's linebacker of the offense, however you want to look at it. And as cerebral as you have to be and are, I'm just so impressed every time I watch you, man. When you're calling things out, when you're seeing things before they happen. What is your process through just a normal week? I mean, when you talk about film and things you're looking at, without giving away too many trade secrets.
Really, just I try to study linemen, study different offensive formations that our opponent is running and what they like to do out of that. Because sometimes you can get tells when you're out there on the field, depending on like how their running back is aligned or a check that a quarterback makes when he's making an audible, and that just being able to understand that the importance of that and seeing it on film allows you to be able to play faster on game day and allows the game to move a little bit slower than just moving parts, everything moving fast, and you're not doing what your job is. I was actually just in the film room right now. I was watching a little bit of tape right before this, but that's really I just try to get in on Mondays, watch some game film, and just do a little bit of scouting of my opponent's most recent game and see how they attack different defenses.
We'll talk about that game at the end. I'm going to save that and kind of what you saw and maybe what you're thinking there. I know it's only Monday. I know you got a lot more studying to do there. But you talk about that preparation and things that teams do difficult. You guys are coming off of a North Carolina win that was extremely impressive. I mean, when you look at their pass offense, the things they're able to do, you guys hold them right at 200 yards. Defense just played so well. I thought Nate Wiggins had one of his best games of his career. What have you seen from this young defensive backfield, man? Because there's some young stars everywhere, and then you got a first round pick like Nate Wiggins who's just getting better and better.
Yeah, talking about our secondary, and like the young guys that we have, we got a lot of talent. They came in. They probably weren't sure if they were going to get much time, but with the way that the season went and everything, they were able to work their way into getting some more playing time, and they've been making plays. They've been balling out, and that's just a testament to like how they watch film, how they prepare during the week, and how they work. Because at this level, as a freshman, you got to come in with the right mentality and the right maturity to be able to actually make plays for your team. And like you said, we've seen that on the field in the way that our young guys in the secondary position have played.
Did you kind of know that going into this stretch? I mean, have you seen that stuff in practice or maybe in the meeting rooms if they get called on with their answers? Is this something that you knew? Hey, whenever these young cats do get their shot, it's going to be special.
I would definitely say in spring and fall ball, just watching our guys practice or watching them practice and make plays out there, and it's how they progressed from fall into the spring ball and whatnot, like how they study their playbook. I definitely could see there's something special there, but you never really know until you see them in like actual game
Right.
time. The bullets are flying. A testament to them. They kept their poise and they've been making plays, and I really I just know like from now on, just being from what I saw in game and everything, they're going to be some really special players here at Clemson.
Yeah, it's exciting to see, and I think exciting for Clemson fans, obviously, to see that the future is very bright and that this defense is going to continue to be a strength of this team as it has been for many years here. How about that big defensive line up front? Because I think a lot of people were a little bit surprised, when Tyler Davis and Ruka Rororo decided to come back. But those guys have been excellent. You have Peter Woods, who there was so much expectation, and he's kind of coming into his own, getting into the stat book a little bit more. Defensive end wise, those guys obviously playing at a high level. But a guy, a young freshman that and TJ Parker that you knew was good, right? When you look at the stars and the rankings and all those different things, but all the attention was on Peter, and then this guy comes out of nowhere, and I think is going to end up on a freshman All-American team. What have you seen from that defensive line as the year has gone on?
Definitely, we got a lot of guys up front, with our veterans, TD and Rook, and then like, young guys stepping in like Pete Woo and Peter Woods and TJ Parker. Those guys really, I mean, as a linebacker, you love seeing those guys in front of you. I mean, they holding double teams or just crushing.
I bet.
They take up a lot of attention of offensive line. Allows me to make some of the plays that you've seen, and as well, Baird and then all of our linebackers. But a big testament to them. And as far as Peter Woods and T.J. Parker, they are grinders. I mean, ever since they got here, they've been about their business, been in their playbook. Yeah. Not just know their job, but know the people around them and what they're doing, so they can play faster and really contribute to the defense. And they've shown that out there on the field.
I think that's a really interesting point that you just said. They're not just memorizing what they do, but understanding the defense and understanding what other people do. Why does that? Elaborate that on a little bit more. Why does that allow you to play faster?
Yeah, when what your teammate around you is supposed to do, or what their responsibility is on a certain play, it allows you to play faster. Let's just say T.J. Parker, I know he has to spill the pulling guard coming around. I know I can just play fast and get back downhill and fit counter run a lot quicker because I know where TJ is supposed to be, and I know where as far as my run fit. And being able to understand that, understand how all the working parts, it just fits together like a puzzle. And when you know what your piece is, you realize a lot faster and a lot quicker.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that. That's exceptional. Well, another guy that I've just seen really, develop, come into his own, get more comfortable is your defense coordinator in Wes Goodwin. And he's a guy that was around when I was playing, and obviously a different role. But to see him in this opportunity, to see his comfort level go through the roof, and you guys as a defense, I mean, you've been elite all year long, but people are starting to really understand that and realize that. What have you seen from him, just growth wise? Going into this year, and maybe some differences of last year, but really mostly, how he's grown up into this role and being really comfortable right now.
Yeah, I'm really happy for Coach Goodwin. He was also here my freshman year, so he's always been around. And when he stepped in that role, I was really happy for him and excited to see how it went. And he just progressed. Since last year all the way up to this year, just implementing different defenses, different styles, and how we attack offenses and how we run our blitzes and stunts and all those different schemes. He's been very creative about it, and he's been implementing that into the defense, and really has showed. I mean, I think our defense over the year has definitely grown and become better each game, and that's a big testament to him as well.
Yeah. I don't think there's any question. It shows on the field in the things that it's able to do. I want to dive into your play a little bit more, man, because you've just been playing out of your mind and had a really great year. And I know you've got a couple of games left here and want to put, an exclamation point on this. The way you play the game, fearless, your celebration, kind of, in tribute to your father with the axe and the passion that you play with. Does that all come from him? How did you kind of get that?
Really just, a love for the game and, the love for, him teaching me whatnot, like you said, the celebration is a testament to him and like how he started. And he basically, said, you did it once, so I want you to keep doing it. And that's what, I'm on and try to keep doing it. But the passion that I play with just comes for the love of the game. And, I just love to go out there and compete. I love to go out there and win. And this, that grind of just trying to get better day in and day out, and learning from your mistakes and always looking for ways to improve. That's really what I love about this game of football, because there's always ways that you can get better. You don't want to settle in and feel like you've made it. So I just love that grind of just always looking to improve and better myself.
That's awesome. I love that. Great answer, man. All right, this next one, I do want to move to the rivalry here because that's what week it is. That's what time it is. And did you grow up a Clemson guy, a Clemson fan? Did you know the program? How was you kind of raised that way?
Honestly, growing up, I watched Clemson football. The national championships against Alabama, and just watching how they play their style of football. And as a young kid, I definitely noticed the type of winning environment that was there, the Christian environment
Hmm.
Dabo had in Clemson. But I didn't know too much about it until my recruitment process, and I really just fell in love
Okay.
with it. Started learn more about how they run things here.
Right. So, okay. So very similar to me. I didn't know anything about Clemson before I got there. And like you said, the recruitment kind of deal. And I didn't have the luxury of looking at national championships. Okay. That didn't happen until later in life there. And so I did not know about this rivalry. Now you do. And you got fully immersed in it, obviously, as a freshman. What does this game mean to not only you guys as a team, but to these fans and the opportunity you're going to have on Saturday night?
As far as the fans and people outside of the program, I mean, I seen it. I just on social media, Clemson blogs, different stuff, and South Carolina fans have a lot of passion about this game as well. And in the ability, actually, it means a lot just because the rivalry is, just all throughout the years of back and forth against South Carolina, and the different, drama that can come up with that. But every rivalry has its own special, flavor to it. And we're very pumped up in the facility. We can't wait to get out there. But we just remember that we can't make the game bigger than what it is. We got to execute our game plan and go out there and just remember is at the end of the day is this game that we love, and we just got to execute what we're going to plan throughout the week.
Yeah, no question about it. What have you seen from those guys on tape? I know it's Monday, it's early, you got a lot more to dive into, but just kind of initial thoughts in this game of what you've seen, and then maybe some keys on the back end of just what you guys need to do defensively to secure a victory.
Definitely, they got a lot of talented players, on their offensive side. It's all going to run through Rattler, though. He's a very talented quarterback. He has a very, very strong arm. Can throw that deep ball. Can throw medium routes, short routes. He can really do it all, and he's very mobile. So we know that we're going to have to be able to contain him. And then we know, as far as like wide receivers, they got talented guys across the board. And one of the very, very talented ones is Leggett. He's going to be a challenge and somebody that we got to stop going to the game. But as the week goes on, I know we're gonna have a great game plan, and we just gotta focus on what we do throughout the week and how we go into that game and making sure that everybody, 11 guys, is doing their job.
Yeah, there you go. All right, most important question, last one for you. We'll get you out of here. Sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie?
I probably have to go with sweet potato pie.
There we go, my man, my man. I love that. Well, hey, brother, this was so much fun. Excited for you guys. Thank you for your time, and good luck on Saturday. Let's get it done.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks again to Jeremiah Trotter for giving us his time during this crazy rivalry week. Mac, it's Clemson versus South Carolina. Clemson ranked, by the way. We'll talk a little bit more about the rankings before we get out of here, after we talk about this game. So we have number 24 Clemson at South Carolina. South Carolina is 5-6. So they are a desperate team. This win, in so many ways, Mac, would save their season, right? Not only do you beat your rival for the second year in a row. I mean that. I don't mean that as a dig. That's serious.
Sure.
And then
Very serious.
if you win this game, you get to a bowl game. So bowl and beat your rival all in one. Plus it's at home. Plus it's at night, 7:30 p.m. And so that place is going to be juiced up. There's so much at stake. And then of course for Clemson to get back on the right track after losing to South Carolina last year in a crazy game that I was at. That was wild, Mac. But let's start with Clemson favored by 7 in Columbia, in your native land. I think that's about right. I mean, I think Clemson is more than 7 points better, but the fact that it's on the road, the fact that it's a night game, I kind of see where Vegas is coming from there.
Yeah, and you look at the home field advantage. So is it really 10?
Yeah.
Having those 3 points at home there. I think it is close. It's interesting when I look at this game, and you look at the struggles from the Gamecocks. Lost a lot of offensive linemen. I mean, that was something that right from Jump Street you kind of saw was going to be a problem. Really, no run game at all.
Yeah.
I mean, they're averaging 2 yards a rush. I mean,
Ooh.
that's tough. That's not good at all. And so you look at that and say, okay, very one dimensional team that's going to throw the ball a ton. Now, listen, when you look at Spencer Rattler and the things he can do, he's electric and a little bit spotty. He has his games, has his moments. Clemson, Tennessee last year, certainly two of those where he just absolutely lit it up. So I know he's excited about this matchup to be able to do that again, to Clemson there. But I really just think that the way Clemson is playing right now, especially in the secondary, Nate Wiggins is a bona fide superstar. That guy's going to be kind of following around their guy. When you look at the things that, Leggett has been able to do there, Xavier, he's a 1,200-yard receiver, very good player. Like, you have to know where 17 is at all times. Big dude, 6'3", 230 pounds. Really reminds me of Alshon Jeffrey a lot. Just the things that he can do, for this team. So Clemson going to have to pay attention to that. And honestly, kind of like last week against North Carolina, Nate Wiggins followed Tez around a lot. And so we probably see that again. I mean, at the end of the day, I would hope, that Nate's in these meetings saying, I'm following 17. Wherever he goes, I go. And you build the rest of the defense off of that. And, to take that challenge, solidify his first round draft stock, I think, if he has a great game right here and can, kind of limit this guy, I don't think you can shut him down. I think you try to limit him. And then the rest of the secondary, just playing at a high level right now. A lot of young guys getting their opportunity. This is a rivalry game. It's a night game. It's going to be a little bit different than anything they've seen. But it's not disrespectfully, but that's the only guy. Like, the next closest receiver is significantly below this dude. Like, it's a major drop off. Maybe not quite catches. It's about half catches, but yardage, you're talking about 1,300 yards to 300 yards. I mean, that is a significant, gap there. So Clemson kind of knows what to do and who to target, and they just have to do that and get that done.
Mac, my biggest concern with this game for Clemson is the fact that it's on the road. Clemson has been an absolutely different team at home. There's no argument with this. Clemson almost arguably should have beat Florida State at home. Clemson has been great against Notre Dame at home, great against Georgia Tech at home. The only game they really sputtered a little bit was the Wake Forest game. And then, of course, great against UNC. So they've been a different team. It's night and day. And now they're going on the road. You think of their road games this year. Duke, a catastrophe, right? NC State, really ugly. Miami, not good. So this is a whole different scenario for the Tigers. Yeah. And that's the only part that worries me is, does Clemson revert back to some of its issues, specifically the turnover margin? The Gamecocks, in a game where they struggled against Kentucky, they did win. They only had 257 yards of total offense. They had 0 turnovers. They won that game because they took care of the ball, really.
Right.
So if Carolina does that and Clemson doesn't, that, to me, that's the only way this game gets weird, is if Clemson reverts back and if they struggle on the road. And Klubnik overall has struggled a bit on the road. You're relying on a lot of young guys in that secondary on the road, maybe going to get some stuff thrown at them by the fans. I'm just saying it's possible. It's a simple thing, Mac, but truly it is, to me, the biggest factor here, because Clemson is just different when they're not at home.
Sure. And the interesting thing to me, KG, is, since that Notre Dame game, I think we everybody can sit here and say, okay, different team. These guys are playing at a much higher level. The other interesting part about that is, as you said, that they have not had a road test since then. They have all been at home. And maybe it's a timing thing. Maybe it is something about being, with your own fans in your own atmosphere. But we'll see. I do have to think, obviously they're ranked, they're playing at a high level. They've beaten 2 ranked teams, in 3 weeks, that this is a little bit of a different team. And they've kind of figured it out, different things on offense. They get both those backs going, getting guys back healthy offensively, especially at the receiver position, and just the way the defensive backs have stepped up. So, I am fascinated. You're right, though, that this is going to be the true test and find out, okay, this team really did turn the page. This team really did grow up and make the most out of this season. So you heard it from Trotter. We heard it from Tyler Brown last week. We kind of asked, okay, what happened that Notre Dame game? And
Mhm.
they both said Coach Sweeney immediately, and kind of talk about how he challenged the entire team, players, staff, coaches, everyone involved in the program, and asking them, what do we want to do? Who do we want to be? And let's get it going. Let's get it fired up. And we've seen a significant difference. So I am interested, though. That road environment is going to be crazy. If I can say anything positive about those chickens down the street, is that they love their football and they're going to have that place rocking for a little while.
Mac, that being said about the Clemson game, I do want to hit on these rankings. We alluded to the fact that Clemson is now ranked back in the CFP rankings that came out last night. We've got Clemson at number 24, NC State at number 22. I think well deserved for the Pac being ranked. Mac and the guys will be there this weekend. Louisville still at 10. So the ACC championship, if both those teams win, will be a top 10 matchup. Florida State drops to 5. I think this is pretty crazy to me because you are projecting now. You're taking other factors into account besides the resume because Jordan Travis is hurt. Like, do you think they would have dropped Florida State if Jordan Travis doesn't get hurt with that
That's
Washington?
the interesting part because they are coming off of, a top 14 win or whatever it is, against an Oregon State team that, had beat a lot of people and played at a very high level and, still is ranked. I'm trying to find them here on the map. They're 16th. And again, I know this committee ranks and maybe they have initiatives of where they put people. Tennessee right there still ranked somehow, some way to give, the guys from Mizzou a nice win to keep them ahead of Louisville somehow. But that is a great question. And I would have obviously loved to seen that to see, okay, does that give them enough juice to rank them above? I did not think that was going to happen before the injury, just because you don't hurt a team because of they didn't do the schedule. They are who they are.
Yeah.
They front loaded their schedule. You never put them number 1. You know what I'm saying? When they should have been probably, or at least number 2 there. So it is fascinating to me. And now it's, hey, you got to go ball out. You've got to go play because obviously this is a massive, kind of game coming ahead this next couple of weeks. And then of course the ACC championship. So, Florida State, just be who you are, do what you got to do, and get it done there. And we've talked about this ad nauseum. We'll talk about it more, on Friday, but this team has to come together. They have to figure it out, and everybody has to take their game to another level, KG.
Completely agree. I just feel like if the committee uses different criteria for each team, and
each week it seems like
yeah, and they've low-key done it every year. Now, if you want to use different criteria each week, okay, but use the same criteria for each team because you're not using the same criteria for Michigan and Georgia in terms of resume that you are for Florida State and Washington and these other teams. So just tell us that you were looking for an excuse to drop FSU and you used their quarterback having a devastating catastrophic injury to do it. Just tell us the truth.
That's right. Just tell us the truth. They'll hit us back with you can't handle the truth.
But I still challenge this committee to leave out an undefeated ACC champion. We'll see.
Right. Please do.
All Florida State can do is win and keep winning.
Yeah.
But
no question. Take care of yourself. We'll see what happens. I do like the respect for NC State down there. Didn't think we'd see Clemson yet, but I love that, obviously. And, a hot team too, very hot teams, that I think deserve some love. So great to see that. Going to be fun to continue rivalry week. Cannot wait, KG, till Friday and to break all these games down. We'll be doing that coming up soon, guys. So again, appreciate you tuning in. Big shout out Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Ross Taylor for making this happen. Really appreciate you guys. Appreciate Ingles, our friends over there. And of course, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope everyone has an amazing day. And like I said, don't worry about all the crazy stuff. Just have fun. Just have fun with your family. We're so blessed to be able to be with our loved ones and hope everyone has a safe, amazing day. And we'll see you on Friday. So appreciate you guys. Go over to YouTube, subscribe, leave some comments, jump on the channel. The OGs, of course, as well on Apple Podcasts. Rate, review, subscribe there as well. We would greatly appreciate that. But until next time, we'll see y'all.